Darkness. Not the darkness of night, but the kind that lives behind the eyes. Rain falls straight and hard on the empty temple ground, each drop a small blade against the skin. A lone man swings a wooden bokken through the air again. Again. The sound is dull, wet, relentless. His knuckles are split. Blood mixes with rain and runs pink down the hilt. 61 duels. 61 men dead by his hand. Miyamoto Musashi, 59 years old, undefeated, untouchable. And still he trains at 3 in the morning because sleep is worse. Because in sleep the real enemy waits. He stops, breath ragged. The bokken trembles, not from cold, not from fatigue, from something older. He turns to the black surface of the temple pond. His reflection stares back, scarred, hollow-eyed, a ghost wearing his own face. For the first time in decades, the greatest swordsman Japan has ever known feels fear, not of death. Death he has given and received 1,000 times. No, he is afraid of the silence inside the reflection. Afraid that when all the armor, all the legend, all the stories are stripped away, nothing will be left. The rain keeps falling. The bokken drops from numb fingers and hits the mud with a sound like a body hitting the ground. Somewhere inside his chest, a voice whispers the question he has outrun his entire life. Who are you? When no one is left to kill. Thunder rolls. The pond ripples. The reflection breaks. And for the first time, Musashi does not look away. We think we know him. Miyamoto Musashi. The name alone conjures a storm of steel and silence. But go back. Go back before the legend, before the 61 corpses, before the Book of 5 Rings became scripture for warriors and businessmen alike. He was born in a village that no longer exists. Son of a minor samurai who beat discipline into him with the flat of a blade. By 13, he had killed his first man. By 16, he was a ronin, masterless, wandering the blood-soaked roads of Sengoku, Japan like a wolf with no pack. Everywhere he went, people gave him new names: demon, monster, sword saint, and he wore them all. Each victory added another layer of armor over the boy who once cried when his mother left. Each duel was not just against another man, it was against the terror that if he ever stopped moving, the emptiness would swallow him whole. Then came the years in Reigando Cave, 5 years alone on a mountain, carving Buddha statues by day, staring at a rock wall by night. No students, no glory, only the sound of his own breath echoing like a stranger's. This is where Krishnamurti would have nodded. You are the world, and the world is you. This is where Jung would have pointed. The persona thickens until the man suffocates beneath it. This is where Alan Watts would have laughed softly. You're playing the game of I'm the great me, so seriously you forgot it's a game. Look at your own life now. The job title, the follower count, the gym body, the spiritual quotes in your bio, the way you speak a little louder when someone important enters the room. Every morning you wake up and put on the mask that says, I have it together. Every night you take it off and hate the face underneath. Musashi sat in that cave until the masks began to rot, until the stories he told himself. I am the strongest. I am the loneliest. I am cursed. I am chosen. All sounded like children screaming in an empty hall. He did not find answers. He found the one asking the questions was made of the same paper as the masks. And for the first time in 50 years, the greatest swordsman in Japan felt something softer than fear. He felt curiosity. Like a man who has worn armor so long he forgot his own skin. He began to wonder what it would feel like to take it all off. The cave is colder than any battlefield he ever stood on. Reigando, high in the mountains of Kyushu. One oil lamp, one straw mat, one man who has killed more souls than most armies. Now sitting perfectly still, shaking. Outside, the wind screams through bamboo like dying men. Inside, the screaming is quieter, deadlier. He has faced death 61 times and never blinked. But tonight he is losing a duel he cannot even draw his sword for. The enemy has no name. It wears his own face. It whispers the things no opponent ever dared. You are nothing without the blade. Everyone you loved left because of what you are. All those corpses, they are inside you now, rotting. Musashi tries every trick he knows. He recites the sutras. He counts breaths. He visualizes cutting the thoughts in half like enemy necks. Nothing works. The more he fights, the stronger the voice becomes. This is the war Krishnamurti spent his life describing. The war against the self that can never be won by fighting, only by understanding that there is no self to defend. This is the shadow Jung warned about. The darker half we bury under medals and legends until it grows teeth in the dark. This is the cosmic joke Alan Watts loved to tell. You are frantically running away from the one person you can never escape, and the faster you run, the louder your own footsteps sound behind you. Years pass like this. Seasons bleed into each other. The lamp oil runs low more often than it used to. His beard turns white. Still, the war rages. One winter night, the pain becomes physical. He clutches his chest, certain this is the end. Good, let it end. But death does not come. Only tears. Hot, shameful, unstoppable. He has not cried since he was 7 years old. He crawls to the cave wall and presses his forehead against the cold stone until it bruises. And there, in the deepest part of the night, he finally asks the question he has murdered men for even thinking. What if everything I believe about myself is the lie? The lamp flickers. The wind stops. For one heartbeat, the cave is perfectly silent. And in that silence, something ancient stirs. Not peace, not yet, but the first honest breath he has taken in 60 years. He stays pressed against the wall until dawn, bleeding from the forehead, smiling like a man who has just lost everything and discovered, for the first time, that he is still alive. The real duel has only just begun. No thunder tonight, no wind. Even the insects have stopped. The lamp has burned its last drop of oil. Only moonlight slips through the mouth of the cave, silver and merciless. Musashi sits exactly where he sat yesterday, and the day before, and the year before. His eyes are open but see nothing. The rock wall 1 foot from his face has become the entire universe. He has tried everything: meditation, koans, self-inquiry, rage, prayer, starvation. He has screamed at the wall until his throat bled. He has sat in perfect stillness until his legs turned to stone. Nothing worked. The eye only grew louder. Until tonight. Something is different. He cannot name it. There is no dramatic lightning bolt, no angelic choir, no voice from heaven. There is only a gap. A tiny, almost imperceptible gap between one thought and the next. In that gap, the observer falls in. Suddenly, there is no Musashi watching Musashi suffer. There is only watching. Only the raw, naked act of awareness without a center. The body is still sitting, knees aching, back curved like an old bow. But nobody is home to complain. Krishnamurti's words arrive unbidden, not as memory, but as fact. The moment you have in your heart this extraordinary thing called love and feel it, there is no observer and observed. Jung's shadow, Watts's cosmic joke, the Buddha's anatta. Suddenly, they are not ideas. They are the air in the cave. Tears begin to fall, not from sadness, not from joy. They fall the way rain falls, because gravity. He reaches for the brush with hands that no longer belong to anyone. Ink, paper, moonlight. He writes the first line of what the world will later call dokudo. Accept everything just the way it is. The characters are ugly, shaking, alive. He does not sign them. There is no one left to sign. The second line comes without effort. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. He writes all 21 rules in one sitting. Not as commandments, but as descriptions of what is already true. When the phantom dies, when the last stroke dries, he stands. For the first time in years, his knees. Do not scream. He walks to the cave mouth and looks out at the mountain wrapped in mist. There is no triumph, no pride. Only a vast, ordinary emptiness that somehow holds more life than 61 duels ever did. He smiles. Small, crooked, almost shy. The greatest weakness was never fear, laziness, or desire. The greatest weakness was believing there was a someone who could be weak. That someone just died quietly, without ceremony, on a night no history book will ever record. And in the silence that follows, the mountain breathes with him. Dawn, the cave mouth is a perfect circle of gold. Musashi steps out carrying nothing. No sword, no scroll, no name. His feet are bare. The mountain path is sharp with frost. Yet he walks as if the stones are kissing his soles. Blood from old cuts leaves small red prints that the morning birds will read like scripture. He descends into the world he once tried to conquer. Students wait below, young men with shining blades and shining egos. They bow low, he bows lower. There is no one left to be higher. He teaches that day not with words but with silence. He picks up a stick, draws a circle in the dirt, points to the center, then erases the center. The students frown. He laughs. The first real laugh in decades, like a child discovering wind. One boy, trembling with ambition, asks, "Master, how do I become strong like you?" Musashi looks at him for a long time. Then he picks up a fallen camellia flower, places it in the boy's sword hand. "Carry this into your next duel," he says. "If it wilts, you lose." The boy thinks it's a trick. It is not. Years pass like breaths. We watch him farm rice with the same hands that once severed heads. He bends low, mud between his toes, smiling at dragonflies. Krishnamurti would call this dying to the known every moment. Jung would call it living to self, not the ego. Watts would wink and say, "Finally, the dude stopped acting like a somebody." He paints now, one-stroke dragons that roar off the paper. T-balls so thin, light passes through them like regret. Every creation is imperfect, asymmetrical, alive, because perfection belongs to the dead center that no longer exists. When old enemies come seeking revenge, he offers them tea. They leave weeping, swords untouched, not because he disarmed them, because there was no one there to kill. At night, he sits under cherry blossoms with prostitutes, samurai, beggars, makes no distinction. He listens more than he speaks. When he does speak, one sentence is enough to shatter a man's life or rebuild it. The Dokodo spreads like wildfire without him trying. Men memorize the rules, tattoo them, die for them. He never corrects their misunderstandings. Truth does not need defending. On his last day, he walks to a field alone, lays down beneath falling petals. No drama, no final speech, just a soft exhale that sounds like the mountain sighing in relief. The body is still warm when students find him. They search for a profound expression on his face. They find only a faint smile, as if he has just remembered he was never born and therefore can never die. This is the Musashi Method, not a path to strength, a path that ends when you realize there was never anyone walking. Now the blade is in your hand. The cave is wherever you are sitting right now. The center is waiting to be erased. Will you keep carrying the dead weight of who you think you are? Or will you finally put it down? Cherry blossoms fall like slow snow. Musashi's body lies beneath them, empty as a shed cicada shell. The students weep. The mountain does not. The camera pulls back, higher, higher, until the body is a speck, then nothing. Only petals drifting across an empty field that looks exactly like the inside of your chest right now. A single breath, yours. The voice returns. Not Musashi's, not Krishnamurti's, not Jung's, not Watts. It is the voice you have been running from since the day you learned to lie about who you are. You have watched the warrior die to himself. You have tasted the silence after the masks burn. Now the cave is wherever you are sitting. The wall is the screen you are staring at. The blade is in your hand. You are next. There is no more time for tomorrow. No more when I'm ready. No more after this one last distraction. Stop being weak, not by becoming stronger tomorrow, but by seeing right now that the one who feels weak is made of the same smoke as every story you ever told about yourself. Let it burn. Let the job title fall. Let the childhood wound fall. Let the future fantasy fall. Let every version of you that needs defending die quietly, right here while you are still breathing. Musashi left 21 rules. You only need one. Die before you die. Then see what cannot die. The petals keep falling. The mountain keeps breathing. And somewhere, in the silence after these words end, a man you have never truly met picks up a camellia flower that will never wilt and places it gently in the hand that is no longer shaking. The screen fades to black, but the silence stays. It was always yours.